to this week's featured cocktail, the Life Debt. This is in reference to the repeating debt owed specifically between Manon and Aelin, our two queens. First, you're going to add 2 ounces of vodka to a shaker full of ice. We're doubling this recipe. You're also going to add 2 ounces of your kinky liqueur. Going to set this aside for just a second. Take my glasses and we are going to pour in 2 ounces of grenadine. You want a pretty good chunk of grenadine at the bottom of your glass. Give it that layered effect. Okay. We're gonna pop on the lid to our shaker. Okay. Oh my God. Hold please.
A few moments later.
There we go. Okay, got it off. We use a strainer and a spoon. Finish the layering effect. You're gonna top it off with just a little bit of Sprite. Then you have a beautiful 2-tone drink that fits perfectly for a life debt paid. Cheers!
Welcome!
I'm Haley.
And I'm Jen.
And this is Quick Off the Mark.
Today we're going to be talking about Queen of Shadows.
Your OG rating?
It was a 4.5. Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is my favorite book in the series.
This is my favorite.
Both times through.
Yeah, I agree. This was when I already had fallen in love with the characters, but the story just picks up so much for every single character that we love in different ways, and people's lives start being affected because of other choices people have made throughout, and it's just, it really starts getting, it's going.
It's going, yeah.
Second time through, I gave it a 5-star.
Oh, yeah.
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 Absolutely.
I feel like people's favorite book is either this book or Kingdom of Ash.
Yeah, I would agree. I think that Empire of Storm also gets a lot of love, but at the same time, you kind of have to loop it in with Tower of Dawn.
Yeah.
So maybe it gets a little bit more shade there because people have strong feelings about Tower of Dawn, whether it's their favorite or least favorite.
Mm-hmm.
It's very spectrum.
I
Yeah.
feel like the characters are just so separated from
Well,
like
not
here,
to jump
like
to
after,
the end of the
yeah.
book, but everyone literally just goes their separate ways. I wrote in my notes, I was literally like, well, so-and-so goes here and so-and-so goes here. We have a sweet little threesome moment, you know, like OG3, and then they're literally saying, okay, see you never. Okay, bye. If we win the war. Yeah, so everyone just gets this feeling of very much, now they're on their own island.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how that book feels. But with this, everyone is together, whether they are together like literally or symbolically or yeah.
At least they're all on the same continent in this book.
Right. Right. And they've got a lot of shit to do, quite frankly. Like a lot of stuff happens in this book, and yeah. I would say, and it also has some of my just most favorite moments from the entire series are in this book.
And it's like a longer book. I mean, she's
a thick one.
But it reads so fast.
It does. It does. It really does.
Yeah.
Yeah. I will say the other books take a little time for me. This one's easy.
This one's easy.
Super easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We do have a little housekeeping.
Yes.
So last week, his name is General Norick. He's the general that she kills, that like makes a big scene, and that's how the king knows that she's back. So that's from last week. And then Fleetfoot.
Yes.
custody.
Custody. We did not update about Fleetfoot's custody. He was actually with Chaol in the last book.
Yes.
In the apartment. So that's where he was. He had left being with Dorian, and now we find out at the beginning of this book that he actually is staying with Nezrin, who's a new character.
Yes.
We featured on our new character list.
Yes.
Staying with Nezrin's dad in the countryside. So he's just living his best outside dog life right now. Yeah, not even knowing what's going on.
No idea.
This is like stepdaddy, grandparent custody. So, no one's really taking full custody here. But you know what? It's fine. You do what you have to do. It takes community. So, yeah. We love it. And we love the family dynamic. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's literally all for one for all.
Everybody has a job. Everybody has a job, and everyone is important, okay? No small characters.
No small characters,
yes.
But lots of side characters.
Yes. Let's introduce some new ones.
Lysandra.
So, camera burned out. We're back.
Yeah. I don't know what's going on. It's fine.
It's okay. So we were talking about Aelin being saved.
Yes. And they just have such a cute homecoming, if you will, because they're like home now. Like you have your person, you're home.
Right.
But the show must go on, and there's somebody that they have to take care of that's making everybody's life awful. Airman.
Well, yeah, he is the ultimate. He's the one that's left over, right?
Yes.
He's the one. He's the last problem that once she gets this sewn up, she no longer has any ties to Selena Sardathian.
Nope.
It's the last act of Selena.
Yes.
Mind you, she and Rowan got into a fight the night before. They had been fighting because she touched his face where the tattoos were. It struck a chord. He freaked out, said, "Don't touch me."
They just have so much sexual tension.
So the thing that makes them so hot is the sexual tension.
Yes.
Hands down.
Sarah J. Maas can just really build that sexual tension, specifically through Rowan and Aelin. I don't know so much about like the Crescent City characters because we haven't read Crescent City yet.
Yeah.
But like the sexual tension that she's able to build between Aelin and Rowan is...
It's off the charts from the get-go. Sorry, I thought that it was a little crooked after the reset. So if it is, sorry about that. I was looking at the camera and thought that I saw a little, if it is, it'll be fine. Just go like this a little bit.
Just like this.
And that's kind of how we're supposed to be seen anyway, so it's fine. But no, from the get-go, from their reunion, after they say goodbye on the shores of, Dornell, like...
And he just shows up and she's like, what the fuck are you doing here, buddy?
Legitimately just throws herself in. It's the romantic scene. She throws herself into his arms. Nestor goes, "Who is that?" And he says, "Rowan." Yeah. But like they never are physical. They never kiss. They hug, but they hug in a very modest way. Not platonic. I don't want to say platonic because it's definitely not platonic, it's modest. Yes. Yeah. It's like side hug, if you will. That kind of language. But for two people that don't kiss until the very end of the book, the sexual tension is just crazy, and literally you'll get the heebie-jeebies and the goodies, and you're like, they haven't even touched. What's happening? And I think that she's so good at doing that between two characters that like build up.
Yes.
And I don't love a slow burn. Let me be very honestly, a slow burn is not going to ever be the trope that I'm searching. Okay, like I'm just gonna be so honest with you. I'm not here for a long time. But it's palpitating.
Yeah.
And I think that also gives way to what the other people are feeling around them.
Yeah.
That like palpitating thing that they're just not talking about. Which brings us into, why didn't he know that she was... Are you okay?
Yeah, my little light's not blinking. Jesus Christ.
A few moments later.
We're gonna get it together. Probably not. Our producer is gonna kill us.
At this point, I'm like, we should just start over. But you know what? We're here.
We're here. We're just gonna go.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's fine.
Okay.
We're fine. All right. Anyways.
It was green before.
I'm losing it. All right.
When you went back and looked at the film, you could hear us.
Yes.
So that means the mics are on.
Yeah, we're good.
See, checks and balances, baby. That's what I'm talking about.
We're fine.
We're a 2-team dream machine.
We're great.
Yeah.
Our producer hates us.
Our
It's
producer
fine.
is going to get so mad. You know what? But if nothing else, we give him really good tests every week just to see.
how what his skills are.
Yeah. Like,
Shout out Javi.
what are you gonna do? Thanks, Javi. Yes. So again, I think that it's. How did he not know that? How did he not know that she was his mate? Because we know that she's already thinking it.
Yes.
As a female, we already know that she's
Yes.
thinking it. She alludes to it later. She talks about how she was thinking it at this point already.
Right.
Because the things are just adding up. If it walks like a duck, it quacks like a duck.
It should be a
fucking
duck. It's a duck.
I'm sorry.
It's a duck.
And then I get that you were told that.
That's a whole other soapbox that we're going to get on.
Right. But these feelings are not natural. These are not, and
Yeah.
you say this. So how do we not second guess some things? You know? But that's just me.
Yeah.
I have questions.
I think everybody has questions.
Yeah. It's hot and I'm here for it. So whatever. Yeah.
Oh. But Arabin has to go. So
Yep.
she has to become Selena one more time.
Yes. She walks in the keep and she literally blows everyone away with how scary she is. Everyone.
And everybody hates it. Like, Rowan hates it. He's like, I can't reach this person.
This is-
Adian's like, I can't.
It was
this
so
is
Chaol of him. It was a very Chaol of Rowan moment for me when he was like, I hate that she's this person because, you know, I just feel like when Chaol hated that she was an assassin and she said she was an assassin, it was giving that.
I didn't get that.
But later he says that you'll never have to be that person again, that person without, you know, emotion and love and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
If she wasn't all as sweet baby Dorian said, you cannot pick and choose what parts of her to love. Because if there wasn't a Selena, there wouldn't be the Aelin that we have now.
Right.
So,
But he does have some iconic, like, scenes in this. Like, when he's like, Arabin is like, hi, who are you? And he's like, you can call me Rowan. That's all you need to know.
yeah, you love that one.
I do. And the
Yeah.
fact that he put on the oil.
That's so presumptuous of Arabin.
Thank you for the oil. My skin's a little dry.
I mean, that was
Fucking
badass.
G.
Yeah, that was.
Fucking G.
Yeah. And the idea
Who
to
wants
fake him
to-
out with putting the ring on.
Who wants to smell like almonds? You just
You know what
walk
it reminds me
around
of?
and smell like almond joy.
So, no. I think of the Jergens that our grandmas used to wear, the cherry blossom almond.
No.
It's the pink. It wasn't just the regular, like, Jergens standard smell.
Uh-huh.
You know, like the extra moisturizing. It was the flavored, and it was cherry blossoms and almond, I swear. And that's just what I think of.
Okay. Sure. I'll go with
I'm
that.
gonna say it's a pleasant smell. But the fact that Rowan put it on too, we love to see that support. Mm-hmm.
And then Lysandra's over here acting her ass off.
So is Aelin, to be fair. You know, she's pretending like she's got this ring on and she's under his control. And she's just a yes woman walking all the way back to the house. And she feels this final betrayal of him. And that's when she's able to say, all right, Lysandra, it's your kill. You've got this.
I did lose it a little bit the first time when we were reading it through. I did lose it just a little bit. Thank God it didn't take very long to come to a resolution. But when he put that ring on her, I was like, oh, fuck.
I knew it was fake.
Oh, fuck.
From the beginning. I was like, no, this is fake.
Fuck.
This is fake. This is so fake. It just felt too...
Before we even get to them separating and
Mhm.
moving about, she walks out in that gold nightgown because he's like, if you're going to test my resolve, you have to wear gold, not yellow.
Well, no, she asked what his favorite would be.
Yes.
And it was real gold, not yellow.
Yes. So
Yeah.
she walks out in this gold nightgown and nothing happens.
Nothing
they like
happens.
kiss.
Yeah.
If we live through tomorrow, you'll get the rest.
We learned no lessons.
None. Not a single lesson was learned.
No.
Not a single lesson. Because it literally, again, all goes to hell the very next day.
And they talk a lot about how it's different now and this, that, and the other, and it's not different now, quite frankly.
No.
So, big day, right? Movers, shakers, they're blowing up the clock tower. Aelin and Chaol, they're going to go into the glass castle and save Dorian or try to save Dorian, kill the king. They're gonna free magic by blowing up the clock tower. Lysander's getting out of town with Evangeline. Lysander's getting out of town with Evangeline.
Oh, it didn't turn on. We're losing it. Okay, there we go.
So, we're just the big day's happening and people are moving.
Everybody's saying bye. Aelin and Aelin have a really cute little goodbye.
Chaol and Aelin are at this point they're determined that they have to kill Dorian. There's no other way.
Mm-hmm.
And then the life debt is paid by Manon and crew when
Witch killer.
all of a sudden all the townsfolk are going to haywire because between here, there, and everywhere else, it's been written in darker than blood paint, script, whatever. Witch killer, the human is still inside him. And so that's how we know. Dorian's still there.
Dorian is still there.
So let's not kill him, let's save him.
Change the plan.
It becomes a rescue mission, but on the way they also find all of Chaol's men decapitated and
that was when I read that the first time, I was like,
yeah. And plunged onto the gates
gates
of the castle, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, oh shit.
These guys that we've known since book one.
Book one, like
Yeah,
Reese
Chaol's
and
men.
Bruno.
Yeah.
I was like, oh,
All dead.
God.
All at the hand of the prince.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Wild. And then, okay, so in one of the Avengers movies, I think it might just be a Thor movie, when, do you watch the Avengers movies?
Yeah.
Okay. So when it is Thor and Loki and they're like, play Get Help, and Loki's
Yes.
like, I hate Get Help. Aelin and Chaol's plan is the equivalent of Get Help, and it is shitty from the start.
It is. It is very.
Shitty
They weren't
from the
prepared.
start. That's the best you can come up with.
She's turning in Chaol, and they walk into the king's room, and him and Dorian and all of his men are there, and he's like, Aelin, what are we doing here? Chaol, quit pretending like you can't get up, that you're shackled. Boo, did you know I can see you? We can all see you.
No, and nothing good happens in that throne room.
No.
Nothing.
No.
The king found out that Dorian had magic,
Yep.
decapitated Sorsha.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So they start doing this back and forth. Aelin distracts Dorian outside the door. Chaol has his moment with the king. We don't really know what went down in there, but it
was
wasn't
not good.
He just left him. Like he wasn't dead, but he just left him. Anyway, Dorian and Aelin go outside. They have this battle of the wits. She slips the ring on his finger so that he will have no Valg will have power over him, but the Valg is inside. So now the power is raging, and he stabs Aelin, and Rowan feels it. And oh, by the way, there's word hounds that
because
Lorcan
Lorcan
said that he killed, but did not.
Yes.
Fun fact, was turning them on Aedion and Rowan in the clock tower, so now they're late for their 12 o'clock appointment. Oh my God.
Uh-huh.
Now we're going delay,
Mm-hmm.
She really needs the sunlight to go overhead so that the ice that Dorian is now splitting out of her.
Because she would...
So much is happening at one time.
Yes.
And we're just back and forth around the circle, and I'm like...
So stressed out. So stressed out. And then Lorcan has to come to Jesus meeting, and he comes in, and he's like, you know what? My bad.
I forgot that Aedion was Gabriel's son. I can't just let him die by these word hounds. I guess
Yeah, I don't
save
like you so much, Rowan, but I still like Gabriel, and so I'm going to save his son.
Meanwhile, Aelin is putting her fire against his ice as the sun comes up, and that's the solstice time, so that's the magic hour. And now all of a sudden
Because they did finally get the clock tower down. After Lorcan shows
Yes.
up, they finally get the clock tower down.
But then they're also met with a Valg army of soldiers.
Yeah, and they're like, fuck.
And
Rowan's in
Lorcan somehow
pieces.
gets away again. And
No,
Aedion,
Lorcan stays.
well, they can't see him. They say, I guess he did get out somehow. And then Aedion and Rowan are like, we died for the queen. And then guess what? Snow leopard.
Because the magic is free.
My bitch.
We missed that.
My bitch.
Yes.
Well, yeah, when the clock
When they
tower
finally
went
were able
down,
to
yes,
get clock
magic
tower
is now free.
Magic is free.
And so she can be a snow leopard. She said, you know what, I'm not running away. I'm actually going to go help my friends. And she's a badass. She literally just goes one by one by one by one like a toothpick with some chicken from yesterday. In her teeth, like, bye.
Yeah.
Done.
Yeah, and then Lorcan's like, I have to go help my queen.
And you know, like, oh God, thank God, we could have done that.
Yeah.
No, we were ready. We're ready. It's fine.
Rowan's like, peace out, gotta go.
Yeah. Also, can you get your ass to the castle? Shit's going down.
She needs help.
Again, fire, ice, we don't really know if Dorian's okay, but the king comes out. The king says, I killed Chaol. He didn't. He says, you know,
spoiler alert.
I did all this. This was my master plan, blah, blah, blah. All of a sudden, Dorian does wake up because of the fire and the ice and the power and the ring and all the things. Halle Berry, hallelujah. And he says, you did what? The thing that wakes Dorian up is that the king said he killed Chaol. He's like, you did what?
You did what?
You want to repeat that?
One more time?
One more time. Puts his shield up, so Aelin can't kill the king anymore. He has to kill the king.
Mm-hmm.
But then he actually does. Even though she's almost burnt out, he does need her help because they've both kind of been through it.
And the king fucking word vomits all of the things that he's done in the last 10 years.
When they've done that, now the Vogue is released from him, and he says, did you finally come to save me, Aelin? She's like, what? Sir, I'm sorry to this man. I don't know this man. And he says, Dorian, it was always about you. I did it all to save you.
Listen to
Well, Dorian's hurt.
Dorian's
hurt.
And I get it.
And like, how am I supposed to believe you put this collar on me?
Yeah.
Also, Dorian breaks off his collar. Yay.
Yeah.
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 And right after he does that, he literally just blasts the king with this blast of what is it they call his power? The not internal power, but he's got ultimate power, basically. Like he can do everything and anything that he wants to. Eventually, he has no one special set of skills. He can do it all. Raw. Next. So, he raw powers his dad. And the glass castle falls. Mm-hmm. Funny story. The glass actually gets melted, turns into this beautiful, like, I just imagine it like a archway over an overpass, you know? Underpass. Yeah. And then you see the stone castle, because it's not glass anymore. The original stone castle is there.
Yeah.
Chaol, Dorian land side by side. Aelin wakes up. She realizes it was Rowan that saved the day.
Yeah.
She sleeps for a few days.
Well, before that, she's the one that erected she sends up her fire, so the glass comes down and it makes
shards.
Something.
Yeah.
So she saves the town, and then she's like literally barely holding on. She walks out, she stands on like the...
Oh yeah.
And
she makes this boss ass speech.
Yeah, it's not super new, but she's got some updates. I think she's an incredibly underrated character is Evangeline.
Agreed.
Or Evangeline.
Evangeline, yes. That story is just so sweet, and it's such a redeeming story for who you think that you know Lysandra to be from the Assassin's Blade, because you realize that a lot of times when you get these point of views, it's so one-sided that you forget that other people have their own stuff they're going through at the same time too. Everyone's just trying to survive in this time, in this world, and especially out here being a young girl that doesn't have a family, you're out here just doing your best. So we learn a lot more about her backstory through Evangeline, because Evangeline is a little baddie.
Yes.
You know,
from the jump.
11 years old is already saying, hold on, I just think you need to know. Okay. Before I leave here, I feel that there's an important part of the story that you're missing.
Yes.
FYI, I owe my life to her, and she actually has done these wonderful things. She's just struggling to get by too. So maybe think about that.
Maybe.
Immediately, Aelin jumps. She's like, okay, hold on. You said you had chocolate?
Guess what? We're friends now.
Guess what? Maybe I jumped again. Yeah.
Maybe you're not so bad, but let's sit here and just eat chocolate and be the best of friends. Their friendship.
It's immediate, and I love it. And the banter is immediate as well. I love that they didn't let any of the baggage hold them back. She's been pining for another girlfriend ever since, obviously, with Nehemia.
And then Ansel.
Ansel, prior to that, had really left a bad taste in her mouth for female friendship. Female female friendships cannot be understated. Like, they're truly so important. Like,
Yes.
guy friends are one thing, but it's also important to have female friends, and especially with them coming from the same background.
Mm-hmm.
I think that they,
Mm-hmm.
why wouldn't they? They
Right.
just have too much in
Right.
common. We quickly have some reveals from the two of them
Yes.
that could shake up their relationship when Lysandra overhears that Selena is Aelin.
Mm-hmm. And she's like, oh, okay. Well,
Okay, well that makes sense.
And by the way, I'm a shapeshifter.
Yep. And then it gets spilled that she's a shapeshifter, and she's like, "You're not mad, are you?" And Aelin's like, "No, I kind of understand. My feelings would have been hurt, but I am actually a lot more self-actualized now. This is the therapized version of me, and when I say therapized, I mean
Traumatherapized.
I went to Winland, okay?
And got beat up by
It's
a
like
fake
basically the
prince.
White Lotus, okay? I went to Winland, I got fixed.
Yes.
Yeah.
She's like, you're a shapeshifter, I'm a queen.
Listen,
it's fine.
it's cool. There are bigger fish to fry here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They just have so many sweet moments.
Yes.
Like when Aelin pays off not only Lysandra's debt, but she pays off Evangeline's debt
Yep.
too. And she's like, guess what? Now you're free.
Yep.
And
Exactly.
Lysandra's like,
Yeah.
what?
Mm-hmm. And like, that's something that I remember thinking throughout, especially the second time I read it. I do believe in the first time as well, though. Thinking, why didn't Aelin think of that earlier, almost? You know, like, why not pay it off? But she almost couldn't have prior to that, because it had to make sense with Selene and closing that story as well. With Airbend and all of that, kind of tying up loose ends, I guess.
Yeah, there's a lot of tying up of loose ends.
Yeah, we'll get more into the Airbend, Lysandra,
Yes, that is
Aelin
coming.
of it all, yes. But we love this.
Yes, it's so cute. It's literally so cute. When she like officially makes her a part of the court, and she's like, "Are you proposing to me?"
We love girls supporting girls. We love it. We love this.
So
But are you though?
But are you?
But are you?
I mean, I'm not gonna say no, but
Obviously, I'm gonna say yes. But like, what brought us here right now, and what took you so long?
oh man. Side character number 2, LD.
We love LD. She's a frail little thing that's got chains, and the witches come upon her.
Talk about getting shit into the stick.
Well, she does play victim very well.
She does.
She does, but she plays it as a defense mechanism. So it's like, is she playing the game? Is the game playing her? Is she a victim of her circumstance? But also, she knows things that we don't think that she knows.
Mhm.
So who's really playing the game here? She's one of those characters that you're always second guessing, I feel like.
Yeah.
I don't know that it ever really comes to fruition, but you're always second guessing her and like what she could be actually doing here, and her ulterior motives. But it just seems like she just knows exactly which role to play in every situation she falls into. With the ultimate goal of getting her freedom, getting out from under her uncle,
Yes.
Lord Locken. And bad guy, super bad guy.
He's awful.
He's in with the Vogue princes. They're doing stuff, you know, Morath. It's unbeknownst to her. The first time when Manon meets her, she scrapes her cheek, gets a little taste. We find out immediately that she's got witch blood in her
So
veins.
you think she is actually a witch?
So it says that she can taste that she's got the witch blood in her, and
Okay.
specifically that she was a Blackbeak. That is referenced in
I
the
just
book.
feel like it's not clarified very well.
But then, go ahead, jumping, we later find out that she doesn't have anything.
Yeah.
It's from the witch side of her family. So, is it like a dud kind of situation where we still have to hang out with her?
Recessive upon recessive genes? I
Yeah.
don't know. It's just,
Like, we claim her, even though she can't do the cool stuff, that's fine.
yeah.
We claim her.
Yeah.
And also, she's got another role here to play, obviously.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and Manon, we know she's got a soft spot for the weak and the frail and the abused, and LD screams that. She literally
does.
talks about how she wanted to eat her, but like, it wouldn't even be worth her waste, because like,
Yeah.
she's so pathetic.
Yeah.
But yet, she clings onto her. And Abraxas, when he first meets her, and she's so scared, she walks up on him, and he just comes up to her. He's been laying in the flowers, obviously,
As he does.
being
yes.
cute AF. Walks up, just lays his little head on her, and Manon's like, oh God, here we go again.
Yeah, and then when LD is running and she's like, I just need somewhere to stay, and Abraxas is like, all right, here
You just come stay right here under my wing. Yep.
Doesn't matter.
Best friends.
Best friends.
He
Instantly.
gives off just like golden retriever.
Yes.
Make it a wyvern.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. I love it.
Okay, so this is a very, very small side character, but I think it's super important. So the dance instructor, Florine.
Agreed.
Yes.
I definitely agree.
Yes.
She is honorable mention.
Honorable mention.
Yes.
100%. Like, after Aelin, Selena leaves Arabin, she still let her take dance lessons with her.
Yep, for free.
She didn't charge her.
Yep.
And then she, like, when Aelin is sneaking in to save Aedion, which we'll talk about way later, she just says, wherever you set your throne, no matter how long it takes, I will come to you and I will bring music and dancing.
Yes, they talk about how the orchestra really had such a huge effect on both of their lives, and it just, I mean, they always had this kindred spirit connection, and so, yeah.
And she, like, knew that Selena wasn't just Selena. She knew she was part of something bigger.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, also, it just goes to show that everyone has a role to play, right? No matter how small you think what you're doing is doing in this rebellion against the king and ultimately the Vogue and Erewhon, like, you think that you're doing something small and meaningless, but in the big picture, without this, we wouldn't have been able to free Aedion.
Yes.
Which then would have led to nothing that happens after that. So,
yes.
Yeah, like the witch story would have stayed the same, but at that point, Aelin's story greatly is affected. So, I think that it's important to know, just like we talked about with the opera singer.
Yes.
In Crown of Midnight, you know, that it's just contrived. And her immediate answers, and we got no struggle. But I was okay knowing in my heart that it was fake, because I was here for the ultimate betrayal of this man that she had been, you know, the father, mentor, lover. Let go, girl. Let go and let God.
She let go.
I'm telling you, you need to cut them ties, and when you do it, you need to make a clean break. And I'm just saying, drop that baggage. He's been baggage for way too long.
He's been baggage for way
Once
too
you
long.
found out what he did to Sam, because we just skipped over that. She actually finds out that it was Arabin who ordered the torture and the extreme torture of Sam.
Yes, and it killed Wesley.
Yes.
Because Wesley was like, I'm going to tie this up into a knot. And then Arabin's like, you got to go.
He was also Lysander's love at the time. Anyway, it was a beautiful summer camp story. But once you found out that Arabin did that to Sam, that's when you should have said, okay, enough.
Yeah.
I'm drawing my line in the sand right now.
Yeah. He also should have died in a much more violent way. It was
But
so
here's the thing.
anticlimactic,
So
it drove me nuts.
I agree with you. You have to remember, it's Lysander's first kill. And she even talks about how that she wishes that she could have recounted all the ways that she hated him and why she was doing it and why it was her.
Yes.
Why she let him go, but she literally had to just slit his throat and then lay there while he choked on his own blood in their bed.
I mean, that's kind of...
That's kind of
Yeah.
gnarly, I'm not gonna lie. And then she wakes up, she's like, oh no. Chaol actually has a very pivotal role in this scenario. He leaves a boot print so that later on, no women can be thought of as the suspect.
Yeah.
Way to go, Chaol.
Yeah, way to go, Chaol. Good job.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think Selena, is more scarier the second time when she walks back into the keep after it's like, Arabin's dead, newsflash. I think she's scarier the second time that she walks in the keep than she was when she walked in with Rowan and Aedion.
I agree because at that point, well, she also knows that the will is going to be read and that she's going to be given everything.
So much scheming.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
She's going behind everyone's back, which then
scheming.
Aedion gets upset because he wasn't let in on the plans. And this is going to, for the rest of her life, the woman cannot let anyone else on some plans.
No.
Again, did we learn the lesson or did we fabricate the lesson from the Sam situation? I don't know at this point.
No lessons
Yeah.
learned.
So Aedian's upset because he didn't know the plan. He was like, I could have helped. She said, I'm not going to sacrifice you. That becomes a regular conversation they have throughout the rest of their
her
relationship.
whole court has that entire
Yeah.
conversation. She has that with every member that she puts in her court.
I could have helped you. And she said, like, it was better if I did it myself. And quite frankly, I don't want to involve you. I don't need more extra hands. But the one person that she will involve in her plans, big girl Lysandra.
Oh, yeah.
I'm telling you right now,
Sorry,
like,
Noah.
these two are the team.
Yes.
The only person that she will trust is her female friend. I love this. I love this full 180 that she gets with Lysandra in the end of just knowing that sisterhood bond. That yeah. The one girl I can trust. The one I trust with my secrets, and if things go wrong, that she's gonna take care of it for me. Because Earl had to die.
Earl did have to die.
Earl had to die. There's a Marianne and there's a Wanda.
Yes.
I know exactly who's who. I'm telling you right now.
Yes.
Girls. I would hang out with them every day. Yeah. Big fans.
And the final, like, headshot, if you will, is when Aelin cut off Arabin's head with the sword of Orient. That was chef's kiss.
When she wanted to go see the body,
she's like, just to make sure.
It was a little excessive for me. He was already dead. The job was done. But yeah, it was a good sign to the boys not to fuck around though.
It was a good sign to the boys not to fuck around.
Yeah.
I just
at this point they're both doing a lot of like just throw it out and measure it vibes between Rowan and Nadian. So she literally was like, boys, just stop.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's just so much going on behind the scenes. They, can't figure out. They're screwing over Lorcan every turn. They're giving him some piece of information, but really
they're giving a lot of fake jewelry. They're giving him a lot of fake jewelry.
A lot of fake jewelry.
Which you'd think he'd learn his lesson. He was actually super stupid, but
he's real dumb.
Anyway, for someone that can get through loopholes,
And they're like, oh, well, we can maybe save Dorian. Her and Chaol really are on the, like, do we save Dorian? Do we not save Dorian? What are we doing with him?
Well, Aelin is very much on the we have to kill Dorian. There's nothing in there anymore. Like, I've been dealing with these Vogs, especially the Vog princes. Chaol, you haven't been there. You haven't seen it. I've been in the field. Real time. Real talk here. We have to kill Dorian. And Chaol is very much like, you will not lay a hand on that man. By God's Aelin, I will kill you literally, he goes, I will kill you myself.
Yes.
Will you? Bleh.
And then about halfway through the book, he's like, you know what? Maybe we should kill him.
I have been actually monitoring this behavior. So this all comes to a head when we all have the first time that all of our main characters are in the same area together. But before we get there,
it doesn't happen very much.
We have to have a build-up of what the witches have been doing, because that's also very important.
Yes.
The witches, meanwhile, have been doing a lot of observing, and you forget how fucking nasty Manon is. Like,
girl goes some character building.
Well, she's actually evil. I mean, she chooses a lot of evil stuff. She kills her. Now we know her sister in the first book, just simply because she's Coggin, and then she wears, that's where her cape comes from, and then also in this book where they just burn the villages because the Duke wants more witches to then become these incubators where they're procreating with the Vogue, and she gives up people. She's even willing to give up the Blackbeak at one point.
Yeah, and Ashton is like, yo.
And so Ashton gets demoted twice.
She does get demoted twice.
Because Ashton's like, what is the plot?
We've lost it. You're losing it.
I don't think what are we doing here? Relatable. So, very much so, then after all of this, Ashton's finally like, we actually need to talk.
We gotta talk.
I've been putting this off, but it's time. Let's go to a field so that the wyvern can eat their flowers. And I'm going to tell you the saddest story that you've ever heard in your entire life about your grandma. And this is how I know that she's bad.
Mated. You find out that later. Spoiler alert.
Yeah, that too. So, long story longer, Ashton has this horrid story where she fell in love, became a child, the hunter in the woods. The baby is ripped out of her stomach. I do not believe that baby died. I do not believe it was stillborn. I'm telling you right now. I'm telling you right now. It is not. It's either going to be LD.
I'm dying on it.
I'm telling you right now. This is not up for debate. That baby did not die.
That baby did not die. No.
The grandmother mutilates her stomach. Says she's unclean. Or writes
I
unclean.
have a question.
Yes.
Okay. So she wrote that she was unclean because the baby was stillborn, because it's not like they could mate with male witches, so she couldn't have been unclean because she mated with a human.
No, I think it was because that she lost the baby.
Okay.
Because they talk about it's the biggest shame of a witch's life is to lose a baby, but so many of them do lose them, and because it's also so rare for them to get pregnant.
Yeah.
But it's like the biggest shame, I think, and then that's why she got sent away for so long, and yeah.
Got it. Okay.
And then Manon was actually the one to give her cheers when she comes back after she's been mutilated, and
Manon has no idea because her grandmother, real big bitch,
the worst. Immediately could kill. From the moment I met her, could kill. Did not like her from the get. This book just solidifies any second guesses that you might have had about if she's a good person, bad person. Excuse me, good being, bad being, because
awful. Literally the worst.
She's and not the good way.
No,
yeah. We're gonna bleep that out, but you know what I'm saying. So that's pretty much what's going on there. That kind of stalls out because she's not willing to give any of the Blackbeaks up, and so she's delaying it.
Now, because Manon is like,
yeah.
Now I see why you've been acting like you're acting.
But she's still not saying that she's not going to do it.
No, she's not. And
yeah.
She's also having this really big internal struggle about
what
her sister said. Like, she made you this way.
Yes.
You weren't born this way.
We were made to hate. We were made to.
Yes. And so this just adds to the internal struggle that Manon is having. And she's like, oh, okay, well, your demotions, I'm taking those back. Yep. And you're back to being my second.
Turns out, you're not so bad. I maybe jumped the gun. Now that I've heard this story, maybe you could be good. Let's get back in second place. Let's run this shit.
Yes. And the rest of the 13 is like, oh, thank God. Because they all know.
Yeah. Sorrel didn't want to be number 2.
No. Yeah. No. She's like, oh, God, please, for the love of Jesus, let's not do this.
Bless all the 13, by the way. Manon is just verbally abusive to all of them. Truly. She is not friendly, not a morning, afternoon, or night person at this point.
No.
But she's about to meet Dorian because she has to follow some orders to go to see King of Ireland and his son because they've got to run this package, right?
Shocking. Erbin betrayed Aelin and Lysandra has been captured.
That's right. Since he was killed, in his will, it was then released to the king that Lysandra was a shapeshifter, which is illegal because, as we know, magic is illegal.
Yes.
But even worse because she's a shapeshifter, which is her whole being. So she gets kidnapped, put in this box, very similar to the box from Endovier, and now she's going to be shipped off to Morath, so that she can now be experimented on with the Vogue and where the witches are.
And then
so the Blackbeaks are basically doing transpo.
Plotting.
Yes. And so now we're going to call them the fire breather team. The fire heart team. Fire heart team 6.
Yes.
They very much so are just going to kind of do a hide and seek mission where they're hiding and seeking what everyone else does.
Yes.
They're just surveillance, if you will.
Especially because the only reason they find out is that Evangeline comes running through the warehouse and is crying, and she's like, they took her, they took her.
Lysandra, yeah.
Gee. She's saving the story so many times.
Yes, and Aelin, now that's her bestie, so she's obviously putting that now this is our number 1 mission.
Yes.
I know we had other stuff going on with the King, with Dorian, with, Vogue, with whatever. Now we're saving Lysandra.
Okay. Screw all of these quests. This side quest is now quest number 1.
If I get a clear shot of Dorian, Chaol,
I'm gonna kill him.
I'm gonna kill him. I just need you to know that I'm gonna take that shot.
And Dorian's like,
Chaol's like, no, you won't. No, you won't.
But maybe.
But if you do, let it be my choice.
Yeah.
Let it be me. Let it be me. Literally, this is another reason that Chaol and Dorian are let it be me.
I'll do it.
Yeah.
I'll kill my best friend. I'll put him out of his misery.
So they're doing this transaction on the field. Dorian gets down for the first time. He is responding for himself because Manon is commanding him to. And
with her eyes.
Eyes
are a really weird thing in these books.
So the light hits him and they get this golden hue, and all of a sudden he says, and it's Dorian saying, hello, witchling. And it recognizes that it's him saying it, which whatever, because they all call each other Princeling and Witchling, and it was very transactional between many characters.
You can, in that point of view, you can hear the Vogue screaming in the background.
And very much so is saying, do not talk to her, do not touch her, she's too much, do not.
Yeah.
And Dorian's like, oh, say less, baby.
Yes.
Say less. He goes towards her.
Yeah.
He flirts like, oh my God, he flirts so good.
Yeah.
Enough to like piss her off and keep her intrigued.
Yeah. I'll bleed whatever color you tell me to bleed.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Sometimes I love you, Dorian says.
She asks his name, and he wants to tell her so bad, and it's not until she like puts her finger on his collar and commands him to do it that he does, like without even a second thought, and it's just immediately, you know, something is here. Yeah. There's an instant connection between these two people who should have no interest whatsoever in each other, and it's a lifeline that I think ultimately does save him.
It does.
It's the only, you know, they say later in the book that there's nothing he can think of, even Aelin and Chaol, but he has Manon, that name going through his head over and over, and he sees the silver hair and the golden eyes, and it's her. It's a chance meeting. Telling you. It's just kismet. Baby. Yeah.
And everything absolutely goes to hell in a handbasket like it does.
Oh, so they say Lysandra-ish. Dorian finds them, and Aelin says they're going to kill each other, you know, as they do. Chaol and Nesrin try to get away.
Yeah, and then Chaol becomes trapped because he's decided that he's going to kill Dorian. He's like, aha, it's not Dorian, I'm going to kill Dorian.
Chaol has his own little side quest and says, you know what, Dorian is a POS, there's nothing in there anymore. Because when he said Dorian on the field, they all got really excited, and then he became an asshole again. So I guess that meant that he was no longer in there. So Chaol's like, no, I do have to kill him. I'm going to do my own side quest. I'm going to go over there. Then he gets caught by the 13. So Aelin, self-sacrificial lamb that she is, says, tell you what, give him up. You're going to want me. Tell him my name. Aelin Ashrobert Galathinius.
Yeah.
And then she just cannot help herself. And she just has to say one more thing. She says, Manon's like, you're not worth my time right now. This has been fun. I've got other stuff to do. And she's like, tell Bobby Yellowlegs I said your mom's a whore. Yes. And then I was like, bitch, what did you say? And she's like, I said your mom's a hoe.
Yeah. Run.
Remember that bitch? Hey! And they're literally, it's like with the clown video, run. The girls are fighting. The girls are fighting at this point. Like, now we see the Clash of the Titans, and they're both like, mine. Like, yeah. Astrid's trying to get Aelin, and Manon's like, don't you fucking dare. And
Aelin trying to get Manon, and
she's like, don't you fucking dare. Astrid shoots at some point. Rowan gets hit because he
sacrifices himself. Yes.
Cute, doesn't do the job now. They've got to take him off.
Mm-hmm.
There's a life debt paid at some point. Oh, because then she vows to kill her. She goes after Manon.
The island starts falling apart.
The earthquake is happening. They're like literally splitting apart. She falls through. She's hanging on by like a thread, winging a prayer. And she hears Astrid scream Manon's name, and it's the exact same way that she screamed Rowan's name, and she wouldn't want to leave anyone else, so now she's got to go save her, even though she got her in that place to begin with, and that's kind of the end goal, but...
Whatever. And she's like, a fighter this strong
maybe it was
die.
Like very one of those days, you know? If I feel like
no, she talks about how she could feel that pull.
Yes.
Like the fate pool.
That's right. That she had felt it once before when she was with Irene and she'd saved her. That's right. Yes. She felt something saying to save this. It's going to be worth it in the end. So saves her.
Yes.
Now Manon owes a life debt to Aelin. Okay.
But Lysandra was saved so that, you know.
Yeah.
A+.
Everything works out.
And she, God love Lysandra, she is traumatized. She's been captured. Who knows how long she was captured? Week. I don't know how long she was there.
Tortured her.
Yep. Traumatized to the nth degree. And she's like, Rowan, it's okay. I'll help you carry. I'll help carry you.
Yeah.
I'm losing my mind because I was just captured. I was in this box. Whatever. But I'll carry you. And then Aiden and Chaol are like, it's okay.
Yeah.
You got it. It's okay. They make it back. Wild. There's just so much extra plotting and scheming behind all of the things.
Yes. Yeah.
But the one main theme through this whole book is we're screwing Lorcan over. However we can do it, we're screwing Lorcan over. And his whole thing is, I'm screwing those hoes over.
He just does pop up randomly, but I'm not mad about it.
No, I'm not mad about it either.
Yeah.
It's just kind of funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not so much they're screwing each other over. It's just they're trying to, like, get you out of, can I just shoot? With Lorcan. I think they're like, here, this is sparkly ring? Sparkly ring? And he's like, I take ring. Doesn't even, like, fact check it to get a certificate of, like, authenticity.
No, he just takes it.
Yeah. Because I'm going to assume that the liar is not lying. Okay. No, it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah. He also just really likes to put Rowan and Aelin in their place through the whole thing. He just likes to, stir the pot.
And like I said, he very much so says the zingers. He says the things that people need to hear and that they're kind of avoiding.
Oh,
and it's going to be a big issue, so you might as well think about it and talk about it now. I'm just saying.
They are avoiding.
The problem's not going to go away.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
No. And this book is like really about her assembling her court.
Yes. Yeah. She and Nesrin, I think that quickly they find each other to be very like fond and like kindred spirits.
Mm-hmm.
Even though they both fuck Chaol.
I think Nesrin would be a better fit for Chaol.
Yeah.
Than Aelin.
Oh yes, ma'am. You think so too? I heard. I mean, Nesrin's not a good fit for Chaol either, but
she's a better fit.
Yeah. Well, no.
We're still trying
Chaol
to fit a round peg through a square hole over here.
Like, he's so I can't with everything about him. No, Nesrin's too wonderful. She's a strong, independent woman. She says, I really don't need you, but like if you want to, we can. If not, I didn't come here for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've got cookies though, if that's what you're looking for. You want cookies or cookies? You want cookies or cookies? What do you want? Yeah.
And then Rowan and Aelin are in a giant pissing contest for most of it, especially after Aelin finds out about the blood oath.
It's a big deal. They only do one, and they're supposed to do him, and he didn't get done because Rowan got done first. So whatever. And now he's just mad, but it's not her fault. But
yeah,
I can't.
Yes, they're in for a good chunk of the book, they're in a pissing contest.
Just whip it out.
Yeah, and then they're finally like, you know what? Fine.
They call each other brother a lot, and I don't like. We go from figure to my brother, and I'm just.
I think it's because they put Aelin first. They put Aelin first, and they're like, we're gonna serve Aelin, and then we'll serve each other, and then ourselves.
Yeah.
Very self-sacrificing. Big
Yeah.
theme. Self-sacrificing. Big theme.
Which they have to be, I guess, because she never tells them what she's doing, so she's always in trouble.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Aiden straight up calls her out. He's like, that's the problem. You can do most things on your own, but that doesn't mean you have to. But also, yes, I get it. I know that I don't have to do them on my own, but I'm going to until it gets too hard.
Well, also, like, everyone wants to talk about where our allies, Aelin, where, but also he's been like that from the get-go. As soon as she walked out and they were together in the same space, he was second-guessing her, team group effort missions. Why are you doing like this? We should be doing like this. And I think that's a bad idea. And where's the support that we need? And you and what army? And it's very much so. He's always been like this. This is not new.
No, it's not new. No.
But also that's his job, and she's kind of doing his job.
She is kind of doing his job.
And I'm not going to say she's doing it better or worse, but a plan for all those involved would be nice.
Yeah, I really think PTSD from Sam or whatever, I think she learned the wrong lesson.
She learned the wrong lesson.
She learned the wrong lessons. She's keeping secrets about her plans, and Aiden also mentions that. He's like, it sounds like you're gonna spring a lot more secrets on me, and then I'm gonna feel like my heart is stopping dead in my chest.
Hi.
You're being a part of it. You're contributing.
Do you want to go over here?
Yeah?
Okay, come over here. Oh, goodness. Oh, I lost a thought.
A few moments later.
Don't show this. I'm gonna get fucking eat up by PETA. She's fine. She really went out.
She's totally, yeah, she's fine. So Aelin talks about how it sounds like she's just gonna have a whole lot of secrets because again she learned nothing from Sam. I'm just gonna keep all of these secrets. He's so very close to the truth though. Like she's just gonna keep all of these secrets in and then be like,
Yeah.
surprise.
So they decide that it's time for big stuff to happen. They need to bring magic back, and that's the only way that they're going to survive this end of times, this war that's coming.
Mm-hmm.
And the only way to do that is to blow up the clock tower.
Mm-hmm. Yes, have to blow up the clock tower.
The only way to do that is God's fire or something like that. And I just imagine the green fire from Game of Thrones.
I didn't watch Game of Thrones.
They had a green fire, I forget what it's called. And it was the big boom.
Oh, I think in the book it's called Hellfire.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Hellfire. God's fire. Whatever.
It's the same thing.
Yeah. Hell's fire, and that's going to blow up the clock tower at exactly noon at a certain time, and Chaol and Aelin are going to go into the palace because he's going to bring her in. He's a wanted fugitive at this point for doing, all the betrayal of the king when he ran out and Dorian got his collar.
Yes.
When they're walking up onto town...
Oh, hold on. Before we even get to the big...
These characters that are doing one thing, that one thing has a huge ripple effect. So we love an honorable mention.
Mm-hmm. And the fact that her last line was "Give the king the performance he deserves."
Mm-hmm.
Iconic.
Yeah, have the day you deserve.
Have the day you deserve. Update on Aelin. I was kind of shocked that Gabriel was his dad. Didn't see that coming.
I did not see that coming either. Of course, I knew the second time, so it was like, eh.
Yeah.
But did not see that at all.
Mm-mm.
No.
Mm-mm.
But I think I was, the first time I know for a fact, I was very confused about Fae, Demi-Fae,
Yes.
gods,
Yes.
cadre. There was a lot of new words for me, and so I was super confused and I didn't even understand how that could happen. So it was...
I need somebody to draw me a pictograph.
Second time through, I'm a pro. So it made a lot more sense this time.
A lot more sense.
Yeah.
Speaking of cadre, Lorcan, he's kind of an asshole. Not kind of. He is an asshole in this book.
Well, Lorcan's an asshole, period. Lorcan's never been known or has even claimed or would want you to think that he's a nice guy.
Yeah. For all of our wrestling fans, I think that makes him a heel. I'm not a wrestling fan, but I think that makes him a heel.
That makes him a heel. That's a relevant.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Perfect.
But like a hot heel, you know what I mean?
Yes.
If you will. Not a heel that comes out and he's Chris Jericho or, this flashy. He's the guy that's coming out and he's silent and he's just going to say, and he's going to say the zinger that you don't really want to hear, which we find throughout the story. He tells Rowan like it is. He says, it's not going to be over that quickly, you stupid fool.
Mm-hmm.
He says, what are you going to do when she gets old and you're still the same?
Yes.
He's got the real questions here. So let's not mix that up either.
No.
And also, he's here on a mission.
He is.
I don't want to jump on the Lorcan bandwagon because he is an asshole. But you don't love an asshole. Okay? I mean, I feel very much, he's just doing a job.
He is doing a job.
And technically, he's kind of gone against Maeve in order to do this.
Talk about loophole.
Dude,
insert Lorcan.
So when he was explaining this in the book, I literally was like, okay, that's really far-fetched way of you to say that this is why you're here. It sounds like you didn't ask so that you didn't have to get, what is it? I would rather ask forgiveness than permission. That's... Was there paperwork that had to be signed?
But way to manipulate the blood oath.
100%. But then again, I guess Vaughn's been off doing God knows what for how,
Nobody knows where Vaughn is.
No, I think at this point Vaughn is coming back because he's going to get sent back out to search for Lorcan later, but...
Yeah.
To be confirmed or denied, we don't know. We haven't seen him in a while. So,
no.
Yeah.
He's in Oregon in the other books that I just read. That's where he went.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But I very much so think that Lorcan he's one of those that can, I'm born to be a hater, but forced to see where you're coming from. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah. Sorry, you're never going to get me on the Lorcan hate train. Period.
No.
Yeah.
He's just an asshole.
He is an asshole. And honestly, when they were fighting and he comes up and he does her neck or whatever, first of all, she was having an existential crisis at this point, okay? She was not, she said, you need to get back, sir, you need to get back. And stupid Rowan stayed back.
Yeah.
Whatever. The first time in his life he takes orders. She's having an existential crisis. She's like, oh my God, all these things. He just comes right. I don't feel like it was a big hoo-ha. He just came up on her and they were all a little drunk. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah. He didn't do anything bad.
No.
Yeah.
No.
That's the worst. If that's the worst you can say
No.
in this book.
The next book is top tier.
Well, I have a soapbox.
So do I. Our last and least favorite side character is Dorian.
It's not that he's my least favorite side character, so let me just go ahead and put that out there.
No, not that Dorian is your least favorite side character. It's Dorian.
No, and not even Dorian, because here's the thing. The book opens, chapter 1, with Dorian, and it immediately lets you know that we're not in Oz anymore.
We're not in a good
This is a
place.
different book. We are not okay. It's truly heartbreaking. Just every time he's like, I feel less and less of myself.
Yeah.
This thing, I don't know my name. I don't know my name.
I don't know my name.
That part, just every time. Or when he would see someone, he'd be like, I know these eyes. It's like, yeah, you do.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you can feel it. Especially when they get to the scenes where, because it's never actually from Dorian's point of view. It's from the third person of him being in this being.
Again, giving host.
Yes, very much giving host. And when he starts doing the more statistical thing, like the really evil, just
when he's
torturing
yeah,
people and seeing that point of view, it's really it's heartbreaking. Our poor little baby Dorian didn't ask for this, and people still try to get through to him.
Mm-hmm.
But the Vogue is winning slowly but surely. Until we'll get there in a second.
Yeah, we'll get there in a second. My favorite nickname in this entire series for Aelin is Fire Breathing Bitch Queen.
100% yes, agree.
It's literally the best.
Yes,
the best.
It's just too fitting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's so much plotting.
Okay, so let's see if we can start from the beginning. So one of the first things that happens is Aelin gets saved.
Yes. And
this is something I need to see in live action.
Oh my God.
Because my imagination cannot even do it enough justice for what I think that this scene really looks like in completion. To completion, if you will. So much. I think that this is going to be one of those things that it's just magical. I imagine it very fast but slow at the same time. Mm-hmm. You get these different point of views. Yes, point of views from everyone. She does a costume change halfway through. Mm-hmm. Aelin realizing and then being hurt and ill. I mean, this guy is bad. He's suicidal. He has an infection. He has real bad infection and has been thrown up a lot. Poor guy, and then just keep feeding him, and he's like, no more food. Anyway,
yeah, he's just this is the end. This
dark place for Aelin. I swear to God, he's been down there
it seems like a long time.
But was it 2 weeks? No, it was 2 months. I think
it was probably a couple months.
2 months.
It was a month for sure, at least a month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he needs a better immune system. But I digress. So we're saving Aelin. We're using now the help of the dance teacher, of Lysandra, of
literally everybody.
Yes.
Even
Erebin, unfortunately.
Gross.
We made a deal that we would trade one thing for another. So whatever.
Shopping, lots of life.
We get Aelin back. What follows is one of my favorite scenes in the entire series, which is the Aelin reunion scene, the first time they see each other.
And he just looks up and he's like, it's going to hell and here's my queen.
He's in his sick bed, literally just opens his eyes and she's hunched over asleep in the bed. And immediately it's just it's a reunion of two siblings that have missed each other for so long and thinking they're dead.
Mm-hmm.
And knowing that they've both been on this path that is so different from what was actually meant for them.
Mm-hmm.
And wondering if they're going to be accepted by that person anymore for...
Right, or if they're going to judge them for all the things that they
right,
did.
for being an assassin or being Ireland's whore or whatever it may be.
Yes. And they're just laying in bed and he's like, I'll tell you my story if you tell me yours.
Yeah.
And she's like, okay.
Yeah, but she doesn't tell him that she gave Rowan the blood oath.
No, she does
She
not.
realizes she made an oopsie and decides, consciously makes a decision not to say anything.
Yes.
This will come back to bite her in the ass later.
Does
Yes.
come back to
Yes.
bite her in the ass.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. She's like, I killed the king.
I killed the king.
Dorian's
King is
the new
dead.
king.
Dorian is king. I'm temp until he can get his mind right because he's
Yes.
a little shaken up. Obviously,
yes.
his dad's dead.
Yeah.
He is the king. I'm just here temp.
Do around or you're going to find out.
Literally, if one of you steps out of line, I'm not playing with you right now. I'm not the one or the two.
No. Okay, have a good day. I'm going to go sleep for 4 days.
It's very Evita. Yeah. Legitimately, I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Boss. Yeah. Sleeps for a few days. We have a lot of cutesy fartsy moments of Chaol and Dorian together, and Chaol and Aelin and
Yeah.
Dorian together, and Lysandra and Aelin together, and it's just wrapping up in different ways.
When Lysandra threw up on Lorcan,
Oh, that was hilarious. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
was like, yeah.
Yeah. When Rowan's laying in the bed with her, he smells Lorcan's scent, and he's just there to, I don't know, I guess give more zingers and some future information. And Lysandra's like, get out. He says no, and she's like, I think you really should, and just guts and vog blood and
Fucking fantastic.
not once, twice.
Twice.
Yeah.
Twice.
And Rowan's like, you gotta deserve that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So everything's all good in the neighborhood there. Well, good-ish.
Mhm.
Good adjacent.
Mhm.
And then you flash to
Dorian's depressed.
super
Be
depressed.
depressed about the things that he's done. Chaol actually, so he didn't die, but he is severely injured. He can no longer walk. He's in a wheelchair.
Mhm.
How he's going to do his job, no one knows, but they're refusing to take the title away because
They give him a new title.
in
And
chair.
The king. In chair. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nesrin gets his old job.
It's really funny though when he tells Nesrin, he's like, I broke my promise. I didn't walk out of here. I just thought that was kind of funny.
I mean, you gotta laugh at the pain.
Yeah.
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 They're sending him off to the Torre Chesme so that he can get healed by the greatest healers.
Mm-hmm.
Nesrin's gonna go with him because they made promises that I guess they figure they have to keep now because maybe they him one more time.
Maybe, who knows?
It's a lot of guilt-ridden obligation to each other here that I feel really could have been solved by just saying, hey, we just wanted to feel something the night before we went to war.
It only gets so much worse.
Yeah.
Things are not all good in the neighborhood in Morath, though.
Well, so Rowan and Aelin are going to Terrason with Aelin and Lysandra.
Mm-hmm.
Dorian's going to stay at home, watch the castle. That's the end of that crew.
That's the end of that crew. Yeah.
But flips out on the witch side.
Flip to the witches.
LD. Oh, well, we need to back. So LD had been kept in the dungeon while Manon and the 13 were fucking around with the King of Ireland and Dorian and all that stuff.
Yes.
Manon realizes at 12:20 a.m. I haven't seen LD in a while. Let me go check. Oh God, she hasn't been here. She's been kept in a dungeon. She's about to be totally, demolished by her uncle. I'm gonna be using her since magic's back. He assumes that her witch magic is there.
An incubator.
Yeah. Manon comes in, trying to save her.
And then the laundress comes up and she's like, she's in the dungeon. I don't know which dungeon, but in the dungeon, we had a plan to break her out. And Manon's like, oh, that's cute. It's okay. I got it.
Yeah. Meanwhile, when they're getting out, they run into good old Caltaine. And Caltaine says, you have no idea what they were going to do to you. They were going to absolutely, destroy you. And she kind of has a good laugh about it. Manon realizes that she has beat the Vogue collar.
And she's like, how long?
How
And
long
Caltain's
is
like,
You know, I don't think they.
It's
Caltain's a Virgo. Can I just say right now, like
It's
Caltain is a
couple
Virgo.
days.
She's literally like the one that's like, okay, I'm gonna take this problem inside. I'm gonna think about it. I don't need anybody else's help. I'm gonna just like introspectively fix this, and I'm gonna start like building a case here. Okay, I'm building a case, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna blow up one day, and I'm gonna flip this case on this situation, and then bam, how very Virgo of her. She blows up with all the facts, and the facts explode. The facts are, you can't beat a badass bitch when she's down. I'm telling you right now, she was prepared to fight to the end.
One way or the other.
Period. And she preferred, I think, to go down them.
Yes.
But she said, you know what? This is my time.
Yeah. Let me just blow the
I'm going to make a scene. Yeah.
She made a scene.
She said, you need to get out right now. I'm gonna pull this power, and I want you to take this piece of cloth and give it to Selena Sardossian.
A life debt.
A life debt, if you will, for a girl who needed a cloak. And a promise that was kept.
Yep, they wouldn't let me bring this cloak with me.
You promised me that you would kill them all. You showed me kindness in a moment I didn't deserve it. And now this is a life debt. LD's like, Selena Sardossian, who?
Who are you talking about? I'll figure it out, though.
I know Aelin, that my mom helped save her, but I do not know the Selena Sardossian, so I must go ask and find in the forest. Manon's like, oh, by the way, they get out of Morath as it explodes. Beautiful scene, I'm imagining. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Manon's like, you need to get in the forest, you need to hide, you need to go, people are looking for you. Go along.
Go north to Terracin.
Yep. Get home, girl. See if you can't find Miss Elena. Go home to your queen, Aelin. But be careful because a lot of people are going to be hunting you in the woods. So, go with God. Hope you don't run into any big bad wolves out there.
Wink, wink, hint, hint.
Hey.
Yeah.
Yeah, the 13 now are, they're going on their way back to
The keep.
Yep, to check out with Grandma, and Grandma's pissed. Grandma's real pissed. So they've got to go face their demons at this point, and decisions are going to have to be made with the 13 and what they're willing and not willing to do for the king and for the duke. And now that magic's out, a lot of things have changed. There was a shift among the witches as well because they got that raw power back. So things are really turning up. But everyone's on their own now, so...
Everybody is kind of on their own.
You know, together they're a lot stronger, but separately a lot can go wrong. A lot of assumptions can be made about where you are or are not going. A lot of times when you leave people out of plans, it doesn't go well.
No.
You never know when there's going to be a traveling circus along the way either, so... Let's see what happens here.
Yeah, a lot of lies are told. You know, like next time we
save
the world, let's do it together.
Yeah. I feel like they always say let's do it together next time, and they never do it together.
No, you spend the next 2 books really hopping from point of view to point of view.
Yeah. Haley's doing the tandem read.
I'm so excited.
Yeah, we're going to have lots of comments about that, so...
Yeah, these next episodes are going to be a little interesting because we haven't really...
I'm not, so if you want to be like me, be like me.
We didn't tandem read the first time.
No,
I'm
not a tandem reader.
But I'm going to try it, so...
And if you don't finish, it's okay.
Yeah, I'm too competitive not to finish it though, so...
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Bye.